Hello everyone and welcome. This video is a brief description of Article 370 of the Constitution of India, Special Status to the State of Jammu and Kashmir. The state of Jammu and Kashmir lies on the northern end of India. Jammu and Kashmir is rich by natural resources, arts and crafts. It is adorned with Himalayas. The state shares its international borders with Pakistan and China. Let us learn more about the state. 1. Article 370 of the Constitution of India provides an autonomy, special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. 2. The article continues to be a special point of discussion and interest even today. 3. While few people consider it as a boon for Jammu and Kashmir, many think that the article is one of the reasons for instability of Jammu and Kashmir. The map of Jammu and Kashmir is shown in the video. The map of Jammu and Kashmir is shown in this video. The regions are numbered 1, 2 and 3. Region 1 is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Region 2 is Kashmir under Chinese control. And Region 3 is Kashmir under Indian control. For full view of the map, refer to the link given the video description. The actual statement of Article 370 is shown in the video. It reads, 370. Temporary provisions with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. 1. Notwithstanding anything contained in this constitution. 8. The provisions of Article 238 shall not apply now in relation to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. B. The power of Parliament to make laws for the said state shall be limited to 1. Those matters in the Union list and the concurrent list which, in consultation with the government of the state, are declared by the President to correspond to matters specified in the instrument of accession governing the accession of the state to the Dominion of India as the matters with respect to which the Dominion legislature may make laws for that state, and 2. Such other matters in the said lists as, with the concurrence of the government of the state, the President may by order specify. C. The provisions of Article 1 and of this article shall apply in relation to that state. D. Such of the other provisions of this Constitution shall apply in relation to that state subject to such exceptions and modifications as the President may by order specify, provided that no such order which relates to the matters specified in the instrument of accession of the state referred to in paragraph 1 of subclause B shall be issued except in consultation with the government of the state, provided further that no such order which relates to matters other than those referred to in the last preceding proviso shall be issued except with the concurrence of that government. 2. If the concurrence of the government of the state referred to in paragraph 2 of subclause B of clause 1 or in the second provision to subclause D of that clause be given before the Constituent Assembly for the purpose of framing the constitution of the state is convened, it shall be placed before such assembly for such decision as it may take thereon. 3. Notwithstanding anything in the foregoing provisions of this article, the President may, by public notification, declare that this article shall cease to be operative or shall be operative only with such exceptions and modifications and from such date as he may specify, provided that the recommendation of the Constituent Assembly of the state referred to in clause 2 shall be necessary before the President issues such a notification. The state of Jammu and Kashmir is endowed with some special provisions as per the Constitution of India. Article 370 embodied 6 special provisions for Jammu and Kashmir. 1. It exempted the state from the complete applicability of the Constitution of India. The state was allowed to have its own constitution. 2. Central legislative powers over the state were limited, at the time of framing, to the 3 subjects of defense, foreign affairs and communications. 3. Other constitutional powers of the central government could be extended to the state only with the concurrence of the state government. 4. The concurrence was only provisional. It had to be ratified by the state's Constituent Assembly. 5. The state government's authority to give concurrence lasted only until the state Constituent Assembly was convened. Once the State Constituent Assembly finalized the scheme of powers and dispersed, no further extension of powers was possible. 6. The Article 370 could be abrogated or amended only upon the recommendation of the state's Constituent Assembly. Let us discuss in more detail about this article and its effects on the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The state of Jammu and Kashmir has a special autonomy status by the Constitution of India. The state has its own constitution and its own flag. The Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir was drafted by its own Constituent Assembly on the 26th of January 1957. Accordingly, the Article 370 was incorporated into the Indian Constitution, which stipulated that the other articles of the Constitution that gave powers to the central government would be applied to Jammu and Kashmir only with the concurrence of the state's Constituent Assembly. This was a temporary provision, in that its applicability was intended to last till the formulation and adoption of the state's constitution. However, the state's Constituent Assembly dissolved itself on the 25th of January 1957 without recommending either abrogation or amendment of the Article 370. Thus the article has become a permanent feature of the Indian Constitution, as confirmed by various rulings of the Supreme Court of India and the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir, the latest of which was in October 2015. The citizens of Jammu and Kashmir have dual citizenships. One is the citizenship of India and the other is the citizenship of Jammu and Kashmir. The jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and the Election Commission has been extended to Jammu and Kashmir, but any constitutional amendment made by the Parliament is not applicable in the state unless an order to this effect is issued by the President. The normal formula of revenue sharing between the centre and the state is applicable here. However, provisions relating to the freedom of trade and commerce services and citizenship apply to the state. No provision regarding minorities apply to the state except those for the scheduled castes and backward classes. Directive principles of state policy do not operate in Jammu and Kashmir. Fundamental rights operate in the state with slight modifications. Only the residents of Jammu and Kashmir can purchase a movable property in the state. The Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir declares the territories of the present state and the territories of Pak-occupied Kashmir as its territory. The power of the Parliament with regard to Jammu and Kashmir is limited to those subjects of the Union List and Concurrent List which have been extended to it with the consent of the state legislature. Article 370 provides that the power of the Parliament to make laws for Jammu and Kashmir shall be limited to those matters in the Union List and Concurrent List which will be declared by the President in consultation with the government of the state to be applicable in the state. The national emergency declared on the ground of internal disturbance will have no effect in the state except with the concurrence of the state government. The President has no power to declare a financial emergency in relation to the state. The President has no power to suspend the constitution of the state on the ground of failure to comply with the directions given by him. An amendment made to the Constitution of India does not apply to the state of Jammu and Kashmir unless it is extended by a presidential order. The state emergency, that is the President's rule, is applicable to the state. However, this emergency can be imposed in the state on the ground of failure of the constitutional machinery under the provisions of the state constitution and not Indian constitution. International treaty or agreement affecting the disposition of any part of the territory of the state can be made by the centre only with the consent of the state legislature. The official language of Jammu and Kashmir is Urdu, but English continues to be used for all official purposes. Let us now learn something about the current status of this article. In 2014, as part of the Bharatiya Janata Party manifesto for the 2014 general election, the party pledged for integrating the state of Jammu and Kashmir into the Union of India. After winning the elections, attempts were made by the party along with RSS party for abrogation of Article 370. Also, Congress leader Karan Singh, son of Maharaja Hari Singh, has opined that an integral review of Article 370 is overdue and to be worked with the state of Jammu and Kashmir. However, in October 2015, the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir has ruled that the Article 370 cannot be abrogated, repealed or even amended. It explained that the Clause 3 of the article conferred power to the state's Constituent Assembly to recommend to the President on the matter of the repeal of the article. Since the Constituent Assembly did not make such a recommendation before its dissolution in 1957, the Article 370 has taken on the features of a permanent provision, despite being titled a temporary provision in the Constitution. That's all about Article 370. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for upcoming videos.